Now, going to the four pillars, the core pillars, which in my opinion are four: too old and too new. After pandemic, in my opinion, luxury will have to embrace digital. There's no other way. But let me tell you my personal opinion, very honestly. Digital is not the natural environment for luxury. It has never been, and in my opinion, it will never will. But it's a must. You have to.
You have to bridge the two, otherwise something will get lost.
You have to find, yes, you have to find ways, and that's the challenge. To use technology to communicate the dream, to bring emotion to the interaction with a customer, which is very difficult. Yes. I mean, luxury is about customization, is about personal interaction, is about seducing the customer. I remember once, I told you, I'm middle class. I'm not exactly a regular luxury consumer, but as a technician, I visit luxury shops, luxury outlets very often. And last time I was in Paris, I went to Faubourg Saint-Honoré, Hermès, on a Saturday morning. And I was there just to observe. And I saw this beautiful episode of an Asian lady. I could not tell whether she was Korean or Japanese. An Asian lady asking to see silk scarves. And the Hermès French sales associate, she did a fantastic job of seducing that lady. And she seduced the lady in such a way, I stopped and watched for 7 minutes that interaction. It was so seductive that in the end, the lady, the Asian lady, she was really absolutely thrilled and in such an emotional status that she bought 2 or 3 silk scarves and quite a few leather items.
And I'm sure she'll never forget that moment.
She will
either.
never forget. I mean, the way the products would be presented and all the theatrical, their theatrical moves and the interaction. And
it's an art.
It's fantastic. And this will be lost in digital. So but on the other way, I mean, this pandemic, people are afraid of going out, of going to shops. I mean, I read this piece of news last week, which is really disturbing. Valentino decided to close their store in New York's Fifth Avenue for good, permanently, shut down forever. Victoria's Secret, but in my opinion, not because of the pandemic, because they were financially unstable before the pandemic. Victoria's Secrets closed their shop in Hong Kong for good. So luxury brands are closed. A luxury hotel in Manhattan closed 2 weeks ago for good. They're not opening again.
Antonio, sorry to interrupt you, but then you also mentioned something really interesting about Hermès in China.
Yes,
record spending of everything that they ever seen in the entire history of Hermès in China.
It's difficult. I mean, it's revenge spending. It's difficult to understand, but there are these mixed impacts. And you're right. I mentioned to you the other day, we were talking, and I told you, I mean, on the first Saturday after the lockdown in China, when China opened, Hermès in one Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. has sold $2.7 million in one day. It's absolutely amazing.
It's remarkable.
But I believe it's an exception. I'm not sure this will happen very often.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Okay, but one of the pillars is, okay, luxury brands, they don't like digital. Digital is not their natural environment, but it's a must. Because of the pandemic, they will have to embrace digital.
And I think it's going to take a lot of creativity to make that platform.
Yes, Angela, it will take a lot of creativity. I posted this morning in my LinkedIn profile a piece of news about Ferragamo. Ferragamo has just launched last week their first augmented reality store.
I saw that story. Yes,
where
fascinating.
If you have augmented reality in your device, it works with augmented reality only. Otherwise, the experience is not the same. If you have augmented reality, you can dive inside the Milan store and you feel you are inside the store. You interact with the products. It's an interactive digital experience.
Yes.
So
but I know Martina and I talked about this yesterday, that one of the things missing from that is, especially for people like you, Martina, that are tactile, to feel it.
Oh yeah, no,
right?
yeah, we spoke about it, and also that also brings me to the other point that you mentioned about. Obviously, it's very hard to replicate the art of the seduction in an online space. However, you also said that Net-a-Porter sold this record sale of
yes, for instance, yes.
That's
2
quite
years
fascinating
ago, yes,
because then it completely goes against everything that we just talked about. So
you
it
see,
is possible, but you have to be very crafty.
Yes,
that's also a nice example. That was Yux Net-a-Porter, which is a digital platform. It's a direct competitor of Farfetch, and it belongs to the Richemont Group. And 2 years ago, I met the CEO of Yux Net-a-Porter at the Financial Times Business of Luxury Summit, which is one of the events I attend every year. I'm not attending this year because of the pandemic. I'm still a bit afraid of flying. Otherwise, I would go. But I've been attending during the last 4 to 5 years. And I met Francesco, I can't remember his last name, the CEO of Yux Net-a-Porter. And he shared this experience. This digital platform has sold for the first time, back then, 2 years ago, a 130,000 euros watch, totally online. And so he was telling us, yes, it is possible to sell 130K products online. So, and then he explained the process. Of course, it's you don't go in the platform, see a watch, and enter your
put it in
credit
a basket
card.
and off you go.
It was a 6 to 8 week process.
There's still human interaction in
yes, they have personal assistants in the platform which start building a relationship since day one. You go in the platform, start watching and surveying products, and then you get the interaction of a personal assistant, and this person will be your personal assistant online, and they will call you often, you will speak on the phone, you interact, you don't talk about business, you talk about taste, they get to know the client, they use a technology to make the augmented reality, virtual reality, so that the customer can feel and see the product in their wrist. So that's the beauty of technology. They help you. They help you see the product in different ways. So, and the deal was closed, and the sale was closed 6 or 7 weeks later. So 130K. So yes, so digital is there, and brands have to embrace it. Another core pillar is sustainability and local production. And in my opinion, I mean, ostentation, luxury used to be about ostentation, extravagance, and wastefulness. And slowly, in the last 5 years, I would say, it has been diverting to sustainability and planet protection and protecting people, local communities, and contributing to a better world. And the key performers in this field are the Caring Group. They're doing a fantastic job in sustainability and biodiversity. L'Oreal, in 3 years in a row, they have been one of the best cosmetic brands in the world, cosmetic groups in the world on sustainability. They got a AAA standard. Stella McCartney and Gabriela Hearst in fashion, they've been doing a fantastic job. Two independent designers, one British, one, well, Gabriela Hearst is Uruguayan born and American citizen now, and she lives in New York. And she has a beautiful, sustainable fashion brand. Ruinart in the Champagne, you should follow. I'm following Ruinart on LinkedIn. They are building a beautiful sustainability project. So, and they are the oldest champagne brand. So there are a number of brands which are doing a beautiful job in sustainability and in making planet a better place. And local.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
But something that you actually said, Antonio, before when we were speaking before about sustainability is that it's like a two-way stream. It's not just basically taking huge luxury conglomerates and addressing sustainability from the top down. It's also the bottom up. It's also the local produce and those beautiful niche luxury companies that you work with, for instance, the wine brand that just got the amazing award of excellence. So you can go both ways on the sustainability level. It's not just circular economy for huge global brands. It's also helping elevate the small local family businesses that really have craftsmanship at excellence.
That's right. So thank you for mentioning it. Thank you for mentioning it. Yes, that's right. And mind you, sustainability is not only about the planet, it's also about people. People protection.
No, absolutely.
It's also about corporate social responsibility. It's about making businesses sustainable.
It's about value.
It's about value. Yeah. So yes, I'm consulting a very small wine brand in Portugal at the moment, and this is I've started 5-6 weeks ago. It's all new for me, so it will be a long process. I'm just starting, but it's a beautiful brand. They have extreme quality. And I'll tell you why. They are not it's a small niche business, and instead of having their own farms and growing their own grapes, they decided to go a different way. They are buying the grapes of 500 local independent farmers. So they are buying the grapes from those very small farmers who grow grapes with love and passion and care. And they are contributing to the well-being of 500 small families, local families. Absolutely. And then they pick those grapes, and with their technology and their savoir-faire and their knowledge, and they produce beautiful wines. They have been winning international prizes and awards, and it's so typical of small product and quality oriented businesses. They were so absorbed in producing quality that they didn't do any marketing so far. So they now finally called me, and I am starting to work with them first building a strategy and then a communication plan to communicate with refinement and with symbology all this quality. One of their sparkling wines has been voted internationally among the 50 world's best. And one of their white wines in Japan has won the #1 first prize for the wine which best matches and pairs with sushi. I mean, coming from Japanese, it's quite an honor that you have a wine, which is the #1 wine in the world to pair with sushi.
And all of that without marketing. So
and that's because of the quality of the grapes and because of the quality of the wine making.
Absolutely. They can be more intimately involved in the quality control and the connection with the grapes and the earth and the farmers.
And that's exactly the testament to doing things of great value and excellence and meaning with essence at the core. I mean, you just said it speaks for itself. So we just need to find a way to come back to this.
On social corporate responsibility, I have to also mention my favorite brand, remember, Mont Blanc, or one of my favorites. They're doing a fantastic job. Since in the last 10 years, Mont Blanc has been partnering with UNICEF. And with UNICEF, they have been launching several projects and raising funds. And so far, they have raised $10 million to invest $10 million in private funding. And they have been investing that money in the education of children from vulnerable families in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. So chapeau to Mont Blanc. And this has to be taught. This has to be talked about. I mean, luxury brands are not just about extravagance or about ostentation.
A lot of giving
back. Luxury brands are incredible creators of value. And they make a lot of money, but most of them are doing fantastic work, either protecting the planet or protecting local communities and vulnerable communities. So, and this is important. So if you, to the audience who is listening to us right now, if you have favorite brands, go on the website and search and look for their corporate social responsibility policies, their sustainability and planet protection policies. You will find beautiful stories that are worth mentioning.
Well, as an editor, that's tweaking on my ears about some wonderful articles that could be written to share.
Yeah, another core pillar is spiritualism. After COVID, I feel that people want to go back to their roots, human values, humanity, spirituality. And we see this trend very big, mainly in hospitality. And let me just mention 2 examples. One of the cases I follow very closely, it's also one of my favorite brands, and I follow their strategy and their work, is Aman Resorts. And Aman has just launched a couple of months ago during the pandemic, or just before the pandemic. They have launched a new brand called Janu, Janu. Janu Resorts for wellness of their concept is the resort for the well-being of the body and the mind. They treat the body but also the mind. So they care for spirituality, they care for personal transformation. They care for mindful yoga, mindful experiences, mindfulness, and so on and so forth. And the other example is in Mexico, the Chablé. You should follow Chablé Yucatan resorts. Chablé has been recently voted their spa, I guess, the best in the world, or one of the 3 best in the world.
I noticed that.
Their spa. And they are a beautiful wellness resort in Mexico, Chablé. So I see mainly in hospitality this spirituality thing or trend being developed very fast. So more and more wealthy people, they want to go to hotels and resorts to take care of the body, but also to take care of the mind. So they go for a massage, they go to the swimming pool, but then they go to mindfulness sessions, yoga sessions, meditation. They go to psychologists, personal transformation experts, and you have all these inside the hotel.
That's a very rich experience.
This makes a lot of sense. Obviously, it's like experiential luxury, and the whole hospitality movement was already on the rise. But coming back to this COVID pandemic, and us having really the proper time to pause and disconnect from the world in order to reconnect back to ourselves, this is what is going to really help the hospitality luxury industry to take a huge leap forward. And this is actually something that I had after the COVID pandemic broke. I had this interview with Forbes about okay, what does it mean and where are we actually going, and I sort of felt what was already happening, was going to happen when it comes to this sort of transition more towards well-being and wellness and healing and connecting to our inner essence. So I said something like, this COVID pandemic really is a blessing in disguise, because it's helping the luxury industry to speed up the full transition towards the space that was already going into. But we are, thanks to this, we are able to actually transition much faster than we would be able to do otherwise. So when it comes to wellness and well-being and spirituality, this whole part of the luxury industry will be on a tremendous rise from now on.
Yeah, and then the last core pillar I would mention, it's an old one. It has always been there, but it's gaining increased relevance after the pandemic, and which is symbology and cultural relevance. And brands are investing more and more in this cultural relevance and meaning and symbology. Bulgari is investing in the restore of ancient marble statues of a cultural foundation. Bentley is communicating. Bentley has just celebrated last year their centenary. They're 100 years old, and they are communicating very subtly, but very subtly communicating and weaving their cultural relevance by weaving personal connection with the royal family. And they have a very close relationship with the royal family, and they produce customized automobiles for the royals. So, and this is a symbology which adds a lot of value to the Bentley cars. Vacheron Constantin, a beautiful Swiss watchmaker, they have this most beautiful watch collection, the Masks of Time, inspired by tribal masks of primitive art. And they are picturing, they have a collection of different watches And each watch has a mask of a given tribe, from the Aborigines in Australia to tribes in Latin America, in the Amazon, or tribes in Indonesia, or and it's a beautiful collection of watches, and with incredible cultural relevance and symbology. Mm-hmm. And this symbology, more than ever after this pandemic, adds value to products, mm-hmm. and has to be there. And mind you, also, and just on a funny note, earlier this year, a consulting firm in the US did a very interesting research. They decided to research the value over the evolution of value and the evolution of prices of 3 different products along the same period of time, 35 mm-hmm. years. During 35 years, they analyzed the evolution of prices and value of gold. Mm-hmm. They analyzed the evolution of prices of the Standard & Poor 500 stock exchange index. And they analyzed the prices and value of the Birkin bag, Hermes bag.
I know where
I kind of feel where you're leading.
During 35 years. Turns out that Standard & Poor stock exchange in the last 35 years gained 11% value, mm-hmm. gold 2% value, mm-hmm. and the Birkin bag 14% value. So the Birkin bag is a better investment than gold and stock. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And the Birkin bag is all about symbology. Sure. As well as the Kelly bag.
Oh, yes.
It's all about symbology.
Of course.
That's what it is. So this is the true value of symbology and exclusivity.
Absolutely. Yeah.